Hello everyone, welcome you all to the Olio YouTube channel. Hope you subscribe to our channel, like, comment and share our videos. These days, most of us are talking about the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Many think that it's the deadliest or the worst pandemic to have ever occurred. Therefore, here we have discussed the deadliest pandemics and epidemics of all time. Before that, let's get to know the definitions of the words outbreak, epidemic and pandemic. Simply, outbreak means small but unusual. Epidemic means bigger and spreading. Finally, pandemic means out of control and international. So now let's talk about 10 of the most dangerous pandemics of all time. Number 10. Russian flu. This is also known as the 1889-90 pandemic as well as the Asiatic flu. The disease and the strain of this flu were respectively influenza and H2N2. However, it's not known for certain what agent was responsible for the pandemic. Asiatic flu, which started in Russia, reached Ukraine, Siberia, Norway, Denmark, Spain, Germany, Argentina, Mexico, and many countries across the globe. This pandemic killed about 1 million people worldwide out of a world population about 1.5 billion. This was historicized as the last great pandemic of the 19th century. Number 9. Asian flu pandemic. This is better known as the 1957-58 influenza pandemic. Asian flu was originated in Guizhou, China. The cause of this virus was influenza A virus, subtype H2N2. This pandemic was spread into the countries like Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan, India, USA, Japan, and many more. Nearly 1.1 million people were killed from this pandemic worldwide. Number 8. COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 stands for Coronavirus Disease 2019. First, people use the term novel coronavirus to describe the virus. However, now we use the term COVID-19. This virus was first reported in Wuhan of Hubei province, China in December 2019. This was spread to most of the territories in the world thereafter. The World Health Organization declared this COVID-19 outbreak as a public health emergency of international concern. However, later the officials declared it as a pandemic. So, as of 24th November 2020, there are nearly 59.4 million total cases and 1.4 million deaths. Nearly 38 million victims have been recovered. Will COVID-19 become the deadliest pandemic of all time? We shouldn't let that happen. So, let's take necessary precautions. Number 7. Cholera pandemics. The history reports 7 major cholera pandemics. Cause of cholera was Vibrio cholerae. First cholera pandemic. This began in Bengal, India in 1870. It extended as far as China, Indonesia, and the Cassington Sea in Europe. It lasted till 1824. Around 100,000 people died from this pandemic. Second cholera pandemic. This pandemic is colloquially known as the Asiatic cholera pandemic. Asia, Europe, and North America became the continents affected by this from 1829 to 1837. Death toll was 100,000. Third cholera pandemic. This pandemic was mainly spread in Russia from 1846 to 1860. Russians lost around 1 million lives from the pandemic. This is considered as the deadliest of the 7 cholera pandemics. Fourth cholera pandemic. Fourth of these 7 pandemics originated once again in Bengal, India. It lasted from 1863 to 1873. Approximately 600,000 people died from this. Fifth cholera pandemic. This spread throughout Asia and Africa from 1881 to 1896. It also reached some parts of Russia, France, Germany, and North America. At least 300,000 died because of this pandemic. Sixth cholera pandemic. This cost the lives of 800,000 people from 1899 to 1923. It was spread in the Middle East, North Africa, Eastern Europe, and Russia. Seventh cholera pandemic. Seventh pandemic began in Indonesia and spread to many countries like Bangladesh, India, Soviet Union, Italy, North Africa, Japan, and South Pacific. Number 6. Antonine Plague. Antonine Plague, which is also known as the Plague of Galen, lasted from nearly 165 to 180 Anno Domini. It is considered as an ancient pandemic brought to the Roman Empire by troops who were returning from campaigns in the Near East. Scholars have suspected it to have been either smallpox or measles. Ancient sources show that this plague first appeared in the Mesopotamian city Seleucia. History reports that it had spread into China too. The total death count has been estimated at 5 million, and the disease killed as much as 1/3 of the population in some areas and devastated the Roman army. Number 5. HIV/AIDS pandemic. Human immunodeficiency virus was first reported in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1976. It is caused by infection with the virus HIV. Many consider this as a global pandemic. However, the World Health Organization uses the term global epidemic to describe it. In 2018, nearly 770,000 people died from AIDS. A study shows that the global incidence of HIV infection peaked in 1997 at 3.3 million per year. It fell rapidly from 1997 to 2005 to about 2.6 million per year. It remained stable from 2005 onwards. However, as of 2018, approximately 37.9 million people are infected with HIV globally. Number 4. The Third Plague Pandemic. This was a major bubonic pandemic started in Yunnan, China in 1855. Afterwards, this was spread into all inhabited continents, including the countries like South Africa, Soviet Union, Australia, and Portugal. According to the World Health Organization, this pandemic was considered active until 1960. This pandemic was critical in China and in India. 12 million deaths were reported from India and China, with about 10 million killed in India all alone. Number 3. Spanish flu pandemic. This pandemic lasted from January 1980 to December 1920. This is also known as the 1918 flu pandemic. This was caused by the H1N1 influenza A virus. This flu infected around 500 million people across the world, which means about 1/3 of the world's population at the time. The first observations of illness and mortality were documented in the United States, France, Germany, and the United Kingdom. The Spanish flu pandemic resulted in a higher than expected mortality rate for young adults than for very young and very old people. The death toll is typically estimated to have been somewhere in between 17 million and 50 million. Number 2. Plague of Justinian. The Plague of Justinian or Justinianic plague can be known as the beginning of the first plague pandemic as well as the first Old World pandemic. This contagious disease was caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis. This ravaged Mediterranean basin, Europe, Sasanian Empire, and the Roman Empire including Constantinople. Many historians believe Plague of Justinian was one of the deadliest pandemics in history, resulting in the deaths of an estimated 25 million to 100 million people. This occurred from 541 to 549 Anno Domini. And number 1. Black Death. Black Death is also known as the pestilence, the great mortality, and the plague. It is recorded as the most fatal pandemic in human history. It most likely originated in Central Asia or East Asia. The Black Death was in large part spread by human fleas and the person-to-person contact. The plague ravaged Europe, Asia, and Africa. This demolished the world from 1346 to 1353. It is considered as the beginning of the second plague pandemic. Doctors who treated the victims wore a special costume consisting of a light, waxed fabric overcoat, a mask with glass eye openings, and a beak-shaped nose. They also carried a cane to examine the patients. The bacterium Yersinia pestis was the cause of the disease. It is said that the death toll was in between 75 million and 200 million. And that's it for today's video. Make sure that you wouldn't let COVID-19 pandemic become the worst pandemic in history. Stay safe. Also, make sure that you subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and share our videos.